I think that more kids and young adults would try to write books more if they thought that they could actually do it. I mean, you're an inspiration to them because you're showing that it can be done. All right. Today I'm joined with Isabella and Liliana, and they're going to talk about a book that they published together. They're sisters. Before we get into your book, tell me a little bit about how you both grew up. Like, were you homeschooled? Were you public schooled? How did that influence your love for writing?
Well, we grew up in a house where there were always books and we would always be read to. Um, so that really had a lot to do with it. We were both homeschooled. Bella graduated last year. Originally, I did not enjoy writing when I was little. Like it was really a struggle for me. But
Mm.
then I started reading and finding books that I enjoyed reading, and that really made me want to write a book myself.
Now, when you decided to write this book, was it just on a whim? You're like, I'm going to write this book, or was it something that you longed to do over years and then, kept a journal and wrote down ideas and then it kind of all came together? Or how did that come about?
When I started reading a lot, I started thinking up stories myself or having dreams that I thought could be fun stories. And a lot of the times before bed, if I didn't have a book to read, I would tell myself a story before bed. And so I would come up with a character and a scenario to put them in. With my debut novel, The Legend of Swamp Falls, I originally came up with Pyrite as the first character, and he was supposed to be the main character, but it didn't work out that way because it just didn't fit the storyline.
So when you decided to write this, did you just sit down and write the whole thing start to finish? Did it take you a little while to, pull different parts of it out? How did that work?
Well, I had a couple of little scenes. The first draft was a mess, and it was like maybe even just one page that was like an idea that I had, and then later
Yeah.
I was like, this isn't working. And so I had to rethink the entire thing. And what's really funny is it was originally not called The Legend of Swamp Falls. I don't even remember what it was originally called, but I stole the name from another work in progress that I didn't even like end up working on because like I didn't like the idea of it. So I just stole the name from that one and used it for this one.
Yes. So do you
Um,
keep like a book or do you keep documents online that you've saved over the years of all your ideas or little tidbits that you've written down that you pull from?
I have a couple of notebooks that have just random little notes on them, and then I think I have like a really long, like 80-page file on my phone actually of like when I would write down names or ideas.
Yeah. So then, Liliana, you came into this whole process. What was your role in this?
I was an editor. I also did a lot of the formatting, but the main thing was we all edited together. We would also write together every night and just talk about it. When she first come up with it, she would discuss like plot and story beats with me.
Now, you being the editor, you've read this a lot, I imagine.
Yeah.
Over and over again. Yes. Was it difficult taking criticism from your sister, Isabella?
Most of what we disagreed on was like sentence structure a lot of the times and like placements of certain words. Like I think there was like one time where we spent like 2 days arguing over the placement of one word in a single sentence.
Oh, that's so funny. But that's part of
But
the writing process, right? You said you pulled the title from another work that you had, and you had a different character to start in the beginning. But when this book came about, where did you get that idea?
I was really bored one night and I was just in bed like, what do I do? Because I couldn't sleep.
Ah,
Because there was a lot of noise going on in the background. And so I was looking at my bookshelf, and I think maybe a couple of days or weeks previously, I had an idea for a character that was like half elf, half alligator. And so I kind of worked with that idea, sat down in um drew out a little bit on a piece of paper, and then I looked through a geology book actually that was on the shelf,
My
and
geology
and
book.
just and just scrolled through the different types of rocks, and I was like, which one sounds like a name?
Yeah.
And that went throughout the rest of the book actually, and there's a lot of different characters named after like my favorite minerals.
Oh, that's so neat. That's just so interesting. You have the book with you, so will you show that to everyone? Pull that up there. That is amazing. So I see you have a bunch of tabs on that. What are the tabs?
They're illustrations that we wanted to show.
Yes, please do.
Is the map,
It,
and then
I can't believe you drew that map. I love a book with a map.
this
Yeah, it was
is
really fun designing the
some
map
of the
for it.
falls, which she did all these illustrations herself in an ink and
In ink.
and
That is
yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful.
markers, and then
Now,
there's
how long does it take you to draw these? And I imagine your first drawing of it was not what put you put in the book. So how long did this take?
A lot of the illustrations, I kind of waited until the book was finished, until I had finished writing it, and then I
Yeah.
started working on the illustrations more and more.
Okay.
And each illustration, depending on like if it was a pretty simple illustration, it would take maybe 2 to 3 hours. Some of the longer illustrations would take a
Wow.
little bit longer just because of the detail.
I was
Um,
going to say, yes, they are so detailed. It's just amazing that you can do both. I've run into people that they can write a story, but they have no illustration, ability whatsoever. And then vice versa as well. So that's pretty amazing when you can illustrate your own book. Yeah, that's great. You guys make a great team to do that. It's a little bit about what your book entails. What is it about? You can read the back of it if you'd like, or you can just talk about it however you'd like.
this is a story is about a girl named Vanessa who was head deep into the swamp to search for her missing father.
Mm.
Along the way, she meets the alligator people who live there and must learn their ways while facing the other strange and dangerous creatures that call the swamp home.
Yeah, and I looked online and I saw that there was a picture of you holding like it was it an alligator?
Yeah,
Yeah.
was it like a month ago? I think it was in September. We went to a reptile show and they were letting people hold an alligator, and I was like, I have to do that.
Yes, yes, it goes so well with your book. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. I think that more kids and young adults would try to write books more if they thought that they could actually do it. I mean, you're an inspiration to them because you're showing that it can be done.
But the first step
Yeah.
is publishing it, and the second step is getting people
Yes.
to read it, really.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think people believe that as soon as you publish it, it's just going to sell. And that's just not what happens, right? What I'm hoping to do is put together a bunch of books by young adults, kids that you can actually kind of share each other's books and read each other's stories. And I just think that would be really encouraging to everybody to give this a try. With the writing process, I mean, it can be difficult. So what things did you run into that were difficult along the way?
The majority of what we struggled with was a lot of editing, but then formatting the book itself was one of the hardest things because we didn't know you could get a program to do it
Yeah,
for you.
yeah,
So she did all of the formatting in
All
multiple
of it.
times. Like I want to say
So
like
many
six
times I would
times.
format the chapters and I would be like, "Do you like this?" And we're like, "Okay." And then the next chapter we get to edit, and you're like, "This doesn't feel right." And I'd redo the whole thing, and I'd be like, "Well, does this look right?" And I should have just done one chapter and tried it, but I did the entire book several times.
yeah. And how would you know, right? There wasn't probably a lot out there to kind of walk you through and show you how to do that. I think it's amazing that you figured it out on your own. You persevered. Did you edit that then or format that in like Word or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was especially tricky in Word because they don't have a lot of settings for like bleed and stuff. The map we spent days trying to figure out because we needed bleed for that and some
Yes.
special cut lines
You
and
learn
stuff.
all these new technical terms, right? Bleed and no bleed and yeah, margins and doing math. They're like, I'm writing a book. Why do I have to do math? Yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. From start to finish, how long do you think it took you from, I mean, idea to holding that book in your hand? How long was that?
It took I think I have like a really good estimate. It took about 6 years just from the idea to the finished draft, and then an
And
extra
then an extra
year
year
for
of
editing.
editing. So about
Wow.
7 years from first draft to publish.
Wow, but what did it feel like though when you got that first copy in your hands? Tell me what that was like.
It was really exciting, and it was really neat to see all of my illustrations put in like right next to the words of, and not on the screen of a computer, because the way a computer shows it is a lot different than the way a book shows it,
Yes.
and it
Yes.
was really exciting.
Yeah. And the book is wonderful, but boy, your illustrations, I feel like you could have a picture book just of the illustrations that you took your story and you brought it down to like, a 6 through 10-year-old type of reader that would look through the pictures because they're so good. Sorry, I'm thinking ahead for you. I'm like, ooh, you should do this. I would love to see that. What's the biggest thing both of you have learned, though, throughout this whole process? I mean, this wasn't an overnight process, as you said. Took years and years, and you grew, obviously, as people, as young adults over this time. What did you learn throughout this?
Setting goals, I think, was one of the things that got me to finish it and got us to
Yeah.
finish editing it. And
Yeah.
just a lot of planning went into the plot and storyline. Like I had a really, we can't find a photo of it, but I had a really large like plot board with sticky notes and photos and stuff that I had printed out.
Hmm. And we learned that it's important not just to set goals on editing and writing, but actually to fulfill them. And sometimes we would spend all day doing an editing session.
Did your parents or mom or other siblings or anybody else play a role in this for you?
Yeah, our mom edited it with us,
Everyone
and
pitched
everyone
in a
always
little
pitched
bit.
in, and they would all read it as they went.
Of course. Yeah. Have
Uh,
you read the book since you got it in your hand? Have you read it yourself in its entirety?
I have not yet. I
No,
I've
I ask
looked through
because that's
the
common. That's
photos.
actually a
Yeah.
common thing. Most people I've spoken with haven't done that. I think it's because we're so close to it. We've gone through it so much. It's like this labor of love, right? But we're like, okay, it's done. I need to set it aside.
Yeah, sometimes I'll go back and reread one of my
yeah,
favorites, like some of my favorite scenes.
yeah,
Yes, that's what somebody
and
else recently said too.
flip through it like that. But I haven't done that either. I'm like, okay, I'll read it eventually.
Edit probably enough by this point, right?
Yeah.
With editing. Do you have anything in the works, maybe down the line, or that you hope to maybe do? You might not have started it yet, but maybe that you hope to do together for another book?
What's funny is I actually have a plan for a children's like picture book, like a Christmas version for this one.
I
Um
love it.
I still don't know where the illustrations are. I need to find them, but
Yeah.
but that'll be one of the next things, hopefully. I have
Mhm.
I have about three sci-fi novels that I'm working on.
Yeah.
Two
Wow.
of which are more like younger kids books.
Yeah.
Um, and then
We just actually
recently,
released a coloring book,
That is
dinosaur coloring book.
That is
So
so neat. And I will put links down below for everybody of all of their books and different things, as well as your YouTube. You had a YouTube trailer for your book, so I want to put that down there as well. Look at those. Oh, so good. I love that you drew these yourself, correct?
yes,
yeah.
See, That's why you stand out. You didn't go onto AI and say, "Make me a dinosaur as a coloring page." Like this is hand drawn. This is why
Yeah.
it's so personal too. And I myself would much rather have something like that for my kids than just another AI coloring book. I think you've done amazing. You've done a wonderful job.
Yeah.
Where do you see yourselves maybe in 5 years or 10 years with this? Do you think you'll continue this maybe as a hobby, or is this something you really want to pursue? Do you have other ideas?
Hopefully, when I hopefully I can get a couple more books published in the next five,
Yeah.
10 years.
And
And
actually, on the last question, we're also working on other coloring books. So I've got a botanicals one of my own coming that I'm working on, and we've got a few others of those.
but we also would like to go to like vend at writers' conferences
Mhm.
and just hopefully I can publish some hopefully we can publish some more
Yeah,
books
I've got a few
in the
novels
next
of my
couple of
own
years.
coming out.
Hey, that's wonderful. So have you published them yet, Liliana?
No, not at all.
Okay. But you know how now. You've gone through
Yeah.
this process with her, right? It does get a little easier each time. And do you draw as well? You said you have a botanicals book.
Yeah, I do mostly like floral illustrations, so I'm doing illustrations of like flowers.
I love that you have so many projects in the works. Can you give us a hint at the next one, the very next one that you'd like to release?
I have a book called a sci-fi novel called Stranded about a girl who it lives in this post-apocalyptic world that is basically just an entire like the entire planet is basically a desert.
Oh, wow.
And something happens and she gets stranded in the middle of the desert and has to learn how to survive.
For each of you, is that the type of book that you would like to stick with, like a sci-fi or a fantasy, or what kind of genre do you enjoy?
Hmm. Uh, for me, I've had a few sci-fi ideas,
Mhm.
but my main novels I'm working on are more like fantasy and
Okay.
that kind of way.
I tend to jump around from like idea to idea. Like
Mhm.
some are more sci-fi than others. Some are like they start out as like just a regular fiction and then you're like, "Oh, wait, now there's aliens and elves. What's going on?"
Yeah, no, I love that too. Yeah, absolutely. For both of you, this question then, if you could have lunch with any author, either past or present, or illustrator, if you really enjoy that, who would that be and why?
I think J.R.R. Tolkien would be a really good author to have lunch with because it would be really cool to talk to him about how he invented the Elvish language. Because in my book, I kind of use the Elvish language as inspiration for the language that is
Okay.
in this book. Because
Yeah.
there is a language that the creatures in my book use, and I created that from scratch, kind of just as like
Yeah.
inspired by Tolkien's work.
And it would
Wow.
just be so awesome to talk to him.
Yeah. Yeah. That I agree. That's actually the second time I've heard that this week. That's yeah, he would be wonderful. And my son would probably say the same thing. With that language, this actually made me think of this. So when you had to come up with this language, was it difficult to make sure you were translate? I don't know how you would say that. Translate, making sure everything was correct every time you were using that language.
A lot of the times I would just like randomly like mess around with a word and like
Yeah.
come up with just like combinations of letters, and then I would just either write it down on a little tiny piece of paper or on the back of my notebook or on my phone, and then
Yes.
later I would try and come up with the translation. But it
Wow.
became more and more organized the further I went on
And we
something.
actually struggled with that a lot in the editing phase because I'm like, okay, you have this word, but you also have this other word. Is this supposed to be a different version of the word, or is it supposed to be the same word but it's misspelled? And there was actually a time where she had the word Albihasahin for the name of the falls, and we're like,
Yeah.
but what does this mean? And she's like, I forgot. And we actually time and then I was like, well, that sounds kind of like serene because we're like serenity, so we came up with Fields of Serenity.
What is one fact that most people wouldn't know about you?
I am not just an illustrator, but I also do a lot of mixed media art as well. I have this massive
Pteranodon in
pteranodon
the
that I
corner here that
that is almost finished now.
um he also has an Etsy called Grace Art Shop, and she makes custom
I need to put
plushies
that.
like ichthyosaur and other dinosaurs like this one.
That is so
Baby
neat.
raptor, and then I do a lot of
Sculptures
sculptures.
too.
Oh my. I need to put that down below as well. I'll put your Etsy shop so you can send that to me so people can check that out as well. Wow. Like a jack of all trades. Like I can't believe that your sculpture you have there. How big is that?
Oh, the
Oh,
pteranodon. It
Yeah.
is, I want to say 5 feet. It's life size. It is a life-size pteranodon bust.
Wow.
So it
well,
is,
yeah, it was supposed to be a
yeah,
costume, but let's just say
it is a
it
little
does
bit
not
heavy.
fit indoors.
Yeah.
That's just amazing though. That is amazing. Did you work on that together or just you?
She did it all by herself, and I was just being jump scared every time I walked into the office, like, oh my gosh, what is this thing?
Oh my, how long does it take you to do the littler ones, and how long did it take you to do that larger one?
Depending on like the materials, like if it's Sculpey, a lot of the times it takes a little bit longer
Okay.
because Sculpey, I need to work with kind of slowly to get the details
Yeah.
in it, and
So like this
it
one,
needs
if
to
you look
bake.
really close, there's a lot of
Um,
texture as well as
yeah.
being painted.
And Sculpey is an
Oh,
oven baked clay, so it takes a while for those to cook and cure.
okay. Yeah.
But with my larger sculptures and stuff, I use poster board,
Mhm.
duct tape, and foam clay a lot of the times, and then just cover it in fabric.
I
Um,
never would
and
have
then
thought of that.
deliver it.
And
Yeah.
cardboard too,
It
all
makes
kinds of
them
stuff.
a lot lighter than they would be if it was made out of resin.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone always asks, is this made out of wood and monster clay? And they're like, no, it's made of cardboard.
Yeah. Well, it would have to be being that large to even move it around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It would be so heavy if it was all made of wood.
yeah.
That's great. Now, you said you're homeschooled. I'm guessing that has been the main thing that has allowed you all this time to really pursue these passions. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
If you could step into any fictional world for just one day, where would you go?
I would probably, if it would be allowed to go into my own book, because it would be fun to just meet my characters and maybe learn things that I didn't know about the book.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's
Yeah.
things that I don't know.
It would be totally awesome to see Swamp Falls.
Yeah. Is there a favorite part that you have of your book?
I really just like the town and the falls. A lot of and even just like the swamp itself, a lot of the book is just inspired by my love of nature.
That
That
actually look
yeah,
and feel and touch and
And see this
yeah,
giant waterfall
yeah.
that you described.
yeah.
Yes, yes. If you were recommending your book for someone, who would be your ideal reader? Someone that would really love this book.
I think a wide variety of
Yeah.
people can enjoy it, not just one genre, but people who
Yeah,
really like kind of mysteries and things like that.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it would it be a good book for like a read aloud in a homeschool family?
Yes.
Absolutely.
They're the best, aren't they? They're the best kind. Is there anything else that you would like to share with other young aspiring authors?
To keep reading because
Mm,
you can't be an author without being a reader. You can be a reader without being an author, but you can't write without reading. Setting goals is definitely a very, like, it's
Very
very
important thing.
important for helping you, um,
And not giving up.
yeah, not giving up as well, because a lot of people say always start with a small book.
Mhm.
And so people with larger books put them away, I feel like,
Hmm.
and do them later. But
Mhm.
that's not what I did. I started with
I
a
mean,
small book and put the small book away, and then started with the big book.
yeah. She's like,
Oh,
So
wow.
I would say if you have a big idea, a big story, go
Mhm.
for it, do it. And if you need to put it away for a bit, go
Mhm.
ahead, work on something else because sometimes you need to just let it sit for a bit
Yes.
before you work on it more.
Oh, yay. Well, now we're joined by Mom, Adriana. So I had a question for you.
Yeah.
How were you able to encourage this whole process? The writing, the reading, the publishing. How did you keep pushing them to keep going, give it a try?
Probably saying that, keep going, you can do it. Like verbal
Yeah.
encouragement. But also, like, at the beginning, it was just like having a family, what is it, culture of reading and enjoying stories, listening to podcasts, talking
Yeah.
about it. You know what I mean? Like, we're always talking about books. We live in a bookish house, and it's like it's a bookish life. And
Yes.
so creates that environment where that those kind of ideas and creativity can flourish. But
Mm.
specifically with publishing, I think one thing, Bella was really frustrated when she finally finished her book and we started editing, and she was like, "Mom, this is taking forever. This is never going to be
Yeah.
edited." And I thought about that, and I too was frustrated because it was just taking forever. And then one night, it was really late. We decided to make a contract. So I wrote a contract out, and we broke it down how many chapters to do a day, like gave a timeline. We set the goal. If we failed to do it, there were consequences, like I'd have to pay a certain amount or something. It was kind of crazy, but it was something that I was like, we can't fail, like, right? And so we signed a contract. We had my son like witness it, and so it was official. And from that moment on, it became this really urgent sort of editing process, and we were able to finish it with our deadline. And I really like, I never had to make myself a contract, for editing, but it was so crazy because the book is enormous, and to edit it was really daunting. Some days we spent all day editing, and just to make time for that. And yeah, it was, difficult on the family, but everybody understood, like, we had to do this and support her in this. We learned a lot from it, right?
Yep.
We learned, yeah, to be persistent, and editing was not always enjoyable. It
No.
was really difficult, and especially when they started butting heads, and
Yeah.
but we learned so much to just push through and
Yeah.
get it done. And then the other thing is, when we edited the first time, we realized after it came in, and I was like, we need to do another edit to do,
Oh,
right by this. So we set
okay.
another contract, and this is in the middle of a move. We just moved this summer, and so we wouldn't have chosen to move at the same time as we did our second edit, but we
Wow.
set the goal and we stuck to it. And yeah, it became like, this last year has been a crazy editing year,
Wow.
but it was so
Yeah.
worth it. And that was really, yeah, I think that's how we crossed the finish line to finally get it done.
And just showing you all, like, you can do these hard things. We
Yeah.
can do these hard things. We're
Yeah.
doing it together. And I love that you set goals like that too, because we need to do that in order to bring that about. I mean, I only know about picture books, and that's hard enough, but to actually take that's a long book. It's a great book, but a
Yeah.
long book to make
Oh, I
sure
wish,
you're
yeah, I wish we would have logged hours, because I'm just like, I'm like, I wish we would have, written that down, because
Yeah.
I
yeah,
can't even imagine like how much
yeah.
time
It
we
was like
spent on it.
originally like 350 pages, and
Yeah.
thankfully we whittled it down.
But it's something that when you got that book and you held it in your hands, you were proud of it because you knew how much work you put into it. You wouldn't have had
Absolutely.
that same feeling, I think, if you just would have sent in your first copy and called it good, right? You couldn't have
Absolutely.
been
Yeah.
truly proud of that,
Yeah.
all of that work that you've done together. I'm so impressed. I'm just so impressed on how all of you work together in your family to do that. I'm sure your other siblings, they might not have had a role in terms of like a direct role, but even just encouraging you to keep going or looking at your drawings or reading little parts of it. I'm sure you all played some role in that. And
Yeah, it was a family affair. And my
yes.
her grandmother, my mother, it was she was reading alongside the editing. Like we would send her the chapters every day, and she
And
was
she'd be
just
like,
like, "Hurry up,
"Where's the
hurry up!"
next one? I want more."
And so we're yeah, it was a family affair, and grandparents and cousins and things as well. So
Yes, I mean, reading books brings you together, but I really hope that people will see that actually writing books as a family also brings you together, and it's a whole
absolutely.
different way.
Yes, in totally different ways. I told the girls, I said, if this book never gets out, it's okay
Mhm.
because
Yeah,
we have learned so much and there's
yeah.
so many experiences that we've had together.
The cover. So you did the cover as well?
Yes.
Yes. Wow. I was just really impressed when I saw that. I was like, that's such a good cover. Yeah, you all just did so wonderful. And I'm so glad that you agreed to join me and talk about the book and the
Yeah,
process of the book. And it's not always, sunshine and butterflies when you're writing it, but it is at the end because you persevered, you kept going, and you all did this together as a family. I just want other people to see this as possible and see the joys of it too in the end and in the process
absolutely.
of that. Well, thank you all so much for joining me. I will put links down below for everybody. So
Thank
a link to
you.
the book, a link to the book trailer, a link to your Etsy shop as well, so they can check that out. And I hope to see you next time. Thanks,
Yeah,
guys.
thank you so
Okay,
much.
bye.
Thank you. Bye.